Oh, jeez. Oh, I need to go get some water, actually. Okay, we're back. We're so back. And a new window. Oh, lordy. There we go. Okay. Alright, now that I think everything is good to go, um, maybe. Okay, now I think everything is fine. Can oh. I just discovered a new thing I can do with OBS. Ah, okay, cool. Neat. Alright, so we left off on the Zinj Chaos Demon detachment. Um, and so brace yourselves for this one, because this is a fucking book. Uh, appropriate, I guess. You start the battle with 3 Flux tokens. You can spend 1 Flux token just after an advance hit, wound, or damage roll, saving throw, or hazardous test that is made for one of your Zinj Demon models. To reroll the results of that roll, throw, or test. Flux tokens can also be spent to enhance the effect of some stratagems. Each time you spend a Flux token, reduce the number of Flux tokens you have by 1, and your opponent gains 1 Flux token. Whenever your opponent has 1 or more Flux tokens, they can spend 1 Flux token after an advance, hit, wound, or saving throw is made for a model or unit in their army to reroll the result of that roll or throw. If they do, they reduce the number of Flux tokens they take by 1, and you gain 1 Flux token. That is ignored if your opponent has the Fates and Flux detachment rule. In your command phase, if your opponent has 1 or more Flux tokens, you gain 1 Flux token. Wow, okay. So that's actually a really interesting way to play, because I guess both of you have the potential for these buffs, and it's kind of like the Fate dice, or the oh, what are they? The Sisters of Battle use the same shit basically, but essentially what it is are dice that you have that can basically help you with your rolls. Um, it's kind of like a discount version of that, I guess, because these are to re-roll your rolls instead of whereas with Fate dice it's just like oh, I rolled a 1, well actually I'm going to change that to a 6. But that's still good though. That's still pretty solid. Um, you pretty much get a reroll on just about anything you want. Um, so going on over to the enhancements, you have Inescapable Eye. For 10 points, in your command phase, the bearer is on the battlefield. Your opponent has 1 or more Flux tokens, you gain an additional Flux token. Okay. Solid for 10 points. These are all really cheap, actually, except for that one. Infernal Puppeteer. Each time the bearer is selected to shoot, you can select one other friendly Zinj demon unit within 9 inches of the bearer. If you do, when selecting targets for range items equipped by the bearer, you can measure range and determine visibility from a model of your choice. Select unit instead. Okay. Interesting. So you can kind of proc off other units to get the range you need. Sort of like, that's kind of how Thousand Suns sort of played in Ninth Edition. It's kind of how Tyranids do their synapse thing too. It's kind of a version of that. I don't think Tyranids can like shoot based on synapse range though. I think it just has to do with buffs and whatnot. But something along those lines. Everything's linked together basically. Thousand Suns had a similar thing in Ninth Edition. The Neverblade for 20 points. Improve the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 2. Ooh. Improve the attacks and arm penetration characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 1. And each time the bearer makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So that plus your rerolls from your flex dice. That's pretty good. Because, like, uh, monster units, and I think demonic princes, if I remember right. Because my Thousand Suns Demon Prince hits like a fucking truck. Um, Jeez, I don't know what the equivalent to that would be. It'd probably just be a Demon Prince of Chaos, I think. Yeah, so... Yeah, their melee weapons are already pretty freaking decent. So add 2 to that. So you're hitting with strength 10, so that's enough to... That's enough to be some solid AT. Excuse me. And AP, so if you strike, it's AP 3 on top of that. That's solid. That's really solid. I don't think this is the monster unit, though. This action key. Oh no, they are monsters. Okay, cool. Um, I guess demons can be monsters and monsters can be demons, but monsters aren't always demons. And then you have Improbable Shield and Aura for 30 points. While a friendly demonic Zinch unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, models in the unit have Feel No Pain 4 up against psychic attacks on mortal wounds. Okay, that sounds good on the surface, but when you think about it, and this was the same problem that the Thousand Suns detachment had, which we'll get to later, there is not a lot of Psychic in this edition. Psychic doesn't have nearly as big of a role as it did in Ninth. Ninth, you had a whole Psychic phase. In 10th, it's just another shooting action most of the time. Um, so that's pretty mid, honestly. And against Mortal Wounds, it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool too. But again, really, there's really nothing in Mortal Wounds. Like, I mean, nothing in Mortal. There's not a lot of people that deal Mortal Wounds out. So honestly, I don't think that that's very situational. Everything else is pretty much. Excuse me. Oh god. Anything else has relative utility. This, it's kind of mid. Okay, everybody's. Oh, we actually have a 2 CP stratagem here. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Abjaz. Abjaz. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but what's up? How you doing? Um, I hope your Grimaldus and the not Grimaldus, your fucking Swordborough deal turned out well. Moving on to, we'll get to the Black Templar's detachment after we do the demons. Um, so Impossible Eclipse for 1 CP in any phase. Um, Any of your monster units from your army that are on the battlefield, select No Man's Land or your opponent's deployment zone, or spend 1 flex token and select both. To the end of the phase, the selected areas of the battlefield are within your army's Shadow Chaos. Okay, so that's like their Shadow Chaos is like the demonic army rule that is what Canoptic Court for the Necrons is based on, and what um, the new Thousand Suns detachment is based on, which is so bad that I can't even remember the name of it. Um, okay, so that's kind of cool. So you just have the whole fucking battlefield is that basically, so you get your rerolls and stuff from that. So that's pretty sweet. Pyrogenesis for 2 CP in your shooting or the fight phase. One of your units that has not been selected to shoot or fight yet. To the end of the phase, you add 2 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in your unit. Oh, no, of just weapons equipped by models in the unit. Or spend 1 flex token and add 3 to the strength characteristic of those weapons. And improve the AP characteristic of those weapons by 1 instead. Okay, I think for 2 CP that's pretty solid because that affects either your guns or your melee weapons, um, as opposed to just what that enhancement does for one character. It's for a whole fucking unit. That's fantastic. And for 2 CP, I'd say that's pretty balanced. Focusing on painting during Christmas, I should probably do that, but to be totally honest, it's too cold to prime anything that I actually want to paint. I have several Templars over here that I should probably paint, but really I'm on that Custodes kick right now, so I'm only wanting to paint those models, but it's been too cold to actually prime anything. Um, Flickering Reality. In the fight phase, just after an enemy unit is selected as targets, one of your units that was selected as a target. Effect: roll a d6. You can spend 1 flex token and reroll the result. Till the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit on an unmodified hit roll after any reroll of that result, the attack sequence ends. Even the original hit roll would have been a crit. So wait. Each time an attack targets your unit. So you just... Okay, hold on. Let's read the example. If you roll a 2 and choose to spend 1 flex token to reroll the result, and the reroll is a 6, then until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit on an unmodified hit roll of 6, the attack sequence ends. That attack fails to hit, and no critical hit effects are resolved. So, So you can spend 1 CP to basically... Wow, okay, so I think I'm understanding this correctly. You roll a d6, and then whatever the result is, if your opponent lands their rolls on that result, the attacks just don't go through. Uh-huh. Is it only for that result, or is it for that result up? That's still. I would have to say for one CP that would have to be just the just the main result. That's got to be it. All right, that that's pretty okay actually. So Delirium Unmade in your opponent at the end of your opponent's fight phase. One Zinch unit from your army that was not within engagement range of one or more enemy units. Alternatively, you can spend one flex point when you use this stratagem and target up to two units from your army instead, including those within engagement range. And you can remove them and put them in strategic reserve. So you're just popping them out. For 1 CP, that's solid. And you can just spend a flex token and do ones that are in engagement range. And from what I can see, you get flex tokens like fucking crazy. So that's that's probably that's probably all right. Fickle Fire, one Demon Zinch unit from your army with engagement range, one more enemy units. Until the end of the phase, enemy units are not considered to be within engagement range of your unit for the purposes of selecting targets for and resolving attacks with ranged weapons. Ooh. Enemy. Each time an enemy model is destroyed while it's within engagement range of your unit, roll d6. On a 5-up unit suffers one more wound after the attacking unit finishes making its attacks. Okay, so you can basically just negate the penalty of being in engagement range of not being able to use your main guns for 1 CP. That's pretty sweet. And potentially take mortal wounds on fight. Look, I like those odds. I'll take those odds. And then we have Fateborn Nightmares. In your movement phase or charge phase, until the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes a move, it can move through terrain features. Okay, so this is one we saw a lot. We've seen a lot of in Chaos when we were here a couple days ago. So I'm not surprised to see this here again. All in all, I'd say the Zinch one is pretty. It's okay. It's pretty solid. I think the Corn one has it beat thus far. Even the Nurgle one was really good. I think both are better than Zinch. I think Zinch is just struggling this edition, honestly. As a Thousand Suns player, I'm not too happy with the state of Zinch things right now. And this is okay. So if you're a Zinch Demon player out there, I hope this works for you. I think Improbable Shield Aura is a bit much and very circumstantial. Um, I think Demon armies do more mortals, like generally speaking, but I'm not 100% on that. Okay, so let's go to where were we just at? We did Voton. Okay, so we're at Legion of Excess, so we're at Slanesh. Ooh. Gooners only in chat right now, please. Okay. Beguiling Aura. Units from your army are eligible to declare charge in turn which they fell back. Okay, that's solid. Uh, wait, so do I just pick? Oh, you just get all of these, I guess? Okay, so your army has the following ability: Seductive Gambit. Each time this unit ends a charge move, you can declare it will perform a Seductive Gambit. If you do, until the end of turn, this unit does not have the Fight First ability, but instead, each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll and reroll the wound roll. Oh. So you lose your priority on charge, but in exchange, you get full rerolls. Okay, that's. And you get to declare charge after you fall back. That's pretty solid. Okay, these enhancements, though, are looking a little pricey off the bat here. So, the first one's an Aura of False Majesty. While a friendly Legionaris Demonic Slanesh unit, excluding monsters, is within 6 inches of the bear, each time on all unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the wound roll. Yeah, okay, 6 inches is pretty good. That's a pretty solid aura. especially if you're running a bunch of mob stuff together. Plus that stacking with your rerolls, that's okay. That's all right, I guess. Dreaming Crown, another aura for 30 points. While a friendly Demon Slanesh unit, excluding monsters within 6 inches, each time model unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Okay, so you can. So these synergize very well with your regular army rule thus far, and you could probably. Again, I don't play demons. I've never seen anybody play demons, so I'm just spitballing here. But in theory, you could run 2 units very close together with 2 separate characters attached to them, one with Dreaming Crown, one with False Majesty. Stack that with your full rerolls on Seductive Gambit, and you're gonna hit like a truck. You do a lot of damage, more damage than Flex Seal can fix. Avatar Perfection 15. At the start of each phase, if there are no other friendly units within 6 inches of the bear, you can reroll advanced rolls, reroll charge rolls, ignore any or all modifiers to its move and advance and/or charge rolls made for the bear. Okay. And then Soul Glutton. At the end of the fight phase, this is for 10 points, if one or more enemy models were destroyed this phase as a result of one or more of the bear's attacks, it can use this enhancement. If it does, it regains up to D3 lost wounds. And you can just, okay, that's not even once per battle. You can just do that. Okay, that's pretty solid. So this is, it seems very melee focused, and I guess the closest I've come to playing against a Slanesh army would be Drukhari. Um, and it's very reminiscent of Drukhari stuff. It's very up in your face um, sort of action, and you get buffs. You get rewarded for doing that. Let's move on down to stratagems. We got Thieves of Pain. Any phase just after an attack or mortal wound is allocated to one of your models, excluding monsters. The effect is select one other friendly unit within 12 inches of your unit. Till the end of the phase, while a selected unit is on the battlefield, each time model in your unit will lose a wound. Inflict one mortal wound on the selected unit instead. Keeps your survivability up for units you care about, so that's pretty good. Archeragonus for 2 CP in the fight phase. 1 demon monster unit or up to 2 Slanesh units, regular demon units, excluding monsters, from your army that have not been yet selected to fight. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in one of those units makes an attack, add 1 to the wound roll. For 2 CP, that seems a little bit much. But again, I don't know a lot about demons, so I'm just purely speculating here on that. That doesn't seem very, for 2 CP. That just seems pretty expensive. Sensory Excruciation. In your command phase, each time a unit on the battlefield that is within your army Shadow of Chaos must take a battle shot test, subtracting 1 from that test if they are below half strength. So that's including your own? Each unit on the battlefield that is within, yeah. This stratagem forces all friendly and enemy units alike within your army Shadow of Chaos to take a battle shot test. This can allow a Chaos Demon player to heal units in their army through the Demonic Terror army rule at the risk of causing some of their own units to become battle shocked. Oh, yeah, for 1 CP, just being able to potentially regen, like, that's, okay. Overwhelming Excess. In your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One of your units, obviously, is the target. Effect, the attacking unit must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result. That test is passed. Till the end of the phase, each time model that unit makes an attack that targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If the test has failed, in addition to being battle shocked till the end of the phase, the attacking unit cannot select your unit as target of any attacks. Ooh. The unit can then select new targets for any attacks that targeted your unit. Again, survivability looking great here for 1 CP, that's fine. Cavalcade of Blades. In your charge phase, just after one of your units ends a charge move. Effect, select one enemy within engagement range of your model, or 1d6 for each model of your units within engagement range of that enemy unit. Or roll d6 instead if your unit is a monster unit. For each 4 up, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Again, this is something we've seen quite a bit with our chaos attachments, is these, roll for whatever and get mortal wounds. That we see quite a bit. Again, no surprise there. And Phantasmal Longing. In your movement or charge phase, till the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes a move, it can move through terrain features. See this shit all the time. Okay, so this kicks the shit out of the Zinch one. Absolutely. I wish Templars would have got something like this. This right here is that's what Templars need. I'm hoping we get that in the Codex. Good lord. Most of these would also be great too. I heard their gossip that there will be no more demon codexes in army. All the demons will be attached to Chaos Space Marine armies. Emperor Shoulders. Yeah, I've heard that too. Kind of fucking them over like they did with oh, what are they called? Not Death Guard. Death Watch. Because Death Watch isn't even an army anymore. They're just Imperial agents. Um, so big whoop to them. But apparently they got a really good little buff in their Grotmas stuff. So we'll probably get to that in a bit. Um, all right. So this one is one of mine that I've skimmed over. I don't remember too much about it. But as an Imperial Guard player, I gotta say that um, Guard has taught me a lot of things. One of them being the values of rerolls and the values of being able to hit on anything less than a 5 up. So most of my guard army is like mechanized infantry, so I'm running a lot of tanks, a lot of artillery, mortars, things like that, and probably only about like 4 or 5 infantry mobs. So this one though focuses more on all infantry stuff. Oh God, excuse me. It's been a long day, good lord. All right, let's get into this. Only the best. Each time an Astro Militarm infantry model from your army makes a ranged attack, reroll a hit roll of 1, with everything hitting on basically a 5 up. That is fantastic. Fire Zone Purge. Each time a Militar Tempestus model from your army makes a ranged attack in a turn in which it was set up on the battlefield from reserves, or from disembark to a transport, add 1 to the wound roll. Also solid. Keyword: if a military Tempestus officer model from your army is your warlord, Scion units from your army gain the battle line keyword, and while such a unit is not battle shocked, add 1 to their OC. So, Tempestus units are basically like stormtroopers. They're like shock troops, special ops kind of guys. I actually mentioned the Aquilan Scions in my video for the last big Kill Team release. So when they announced the new Kill Team edition, I did a video about that. And I went over their lore a little bit in there. Um, but essentially, they're pretty good. I think they hit on a 4 up, maybe a 3 up. I don't think they're that good. I think it's a 4 up. But anyway, they're better than your regular guard, basically, by a long shot. The problem though with that is that they are in other units. You can only take 3 of them. But keyword here, if you have a Tempestus officer model, now you can take as many as you fucking want. So that's pretty great. So we want to do enhancements. Bombast class Vox array for 25. Each time the bearer issues an order, the bearer's unit contains 1 or more models equipped to the Master Vox, which all of your squads should if you're playing guard. So you can give orders. It can issue that order up to 3 different regiment units instead of only 1. Awesome. So orders are, if you don't know, like buffs you can give to your army. So like they can only be issued by officers and within a certain range, and only to like certain units, right? And it tells you on the list what can be. It tells you on their data card like what can be what. But anyway, in a nutshell, it's different buffs. So like you can give a buff to hit in melee or range. You can give extra movement, things like that. So being able to take one dude and just issue up to 3 different issue an order to 3 different units at once for 25 points, I'd say that is great because orders can make or break card games. And so typically, if you only have, a couple of officer models, you can only issue in order to 1 unit at a time. So Being able to do that to 3 other units from one dude, that's some bang for your buck right there. Priority drop beacon for 30 points. Good lord. Tempestus officer model only. The bearer's unit can be set up using the deep strike ability in the reinforcement step. Oh, okay. Of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. Um, that's okay. I don't think that's worth 30 points necessarily. I've only ran Scions once, and I didn't really do much with them because it was kind of late game before I could bring them in. Um, so I don't think that's worth 30 points personally. I mean, maybe it is like if you're running them all as like battle line, if you're running your Scion units as battle line, but I don't think that generally speaking, the ability to drop a single unit from Deep Strike in on your first movement phase is really worth 30 fucking points. That's quite a bit. Shroud Projector. Enemy units cannot use the Fire Overwatch stratagem to shoot the bearer's unit. Ooh. Okay. I don't need to really even explain that. That's self-explanatory. Advanced Augury for 15. Infantry officer model only. So this is just infantry officers, so pretty much anyone. After both players have deployed their armies, select up to 3 regiment units from your army and redeploy them, regiments being infantry units typically. When doing so, you can set them up in strategic reserves, regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserve. So that's essentially what I've seen that a couple times. There's one unit, Necron Shard of the Deceiver does the same thing. It's just an ability. Um, so he just gets it for free. The difference though is that you're taking this for 15. A Catan Shard is like 200 points. So do the math. When it comes to Astromel Tarm, I think Krieg got the best models in edition so far. Yeah, the only problem is they haven't put out any actual new models yet for Krieg. The only new guard models out, though, thus far that you can buy is the new Combat Patrol for this edition and the Tempestus Scions. The Aquilin Scions for Kill Team, which you can use Kill Team models in 40k. Um, I think Kazerkin also have a new model line out for Kill Team, which again just translates over into fucking 40k. But I am really hyped for that Krieg box set. As soon as pre-orders go up for that, if I don't think they have yet, but if they did, obviously I missed it. But as soon as pre-orders go for that, I'm gonna go ahead and fucking buy that, snatch that shit up. I might even do an unboxing video if I can get that. That'd be kind of cool. Um, all right, let's go into stratagem 2. So Bellicosa drop for 1 CP. In the reinforcement step of your movement phase, one of your infantry units that's in reserves and has deep strike. Till the end of the phase, when a unit is set up on the battlefield using deep strike can be set up anywhere on the battlefield. That's within 6 inches away from all enemy units. But they can't declare a charge if they do so. For 1 CP, that's pretty valid. Okay. Okay, so I guess if you tapped a Bellicosa drop for along with what is it? Fucking priority drop beacon. That could be kind of mean. Firing hot for 1 CP in your shooting phase. One Tempestus or Kazarkin unit from your army that's not shot yet. Till the end of the phase, improve the strength and AP of hot shot las guns by 1. Okay. So I think that would make them. Oh man, AP 2? I don't know if I want to look that up exactly, but yeah, I think that would make them AP2 strength 5, strength 4 maybe. I think it's still strength 4 because I think the hotshot las guns just have better shooting and better AP. I don't think they have any extra strength, so that's still pretty solid though for 1 CP. If I relocate in your shooting phase, one Astro Militarum unit, excluding Titanic, until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it advanced. This would be great for Sentinels. Okay, Sentinels, armored Sentinels, the little fucking walker things, little ATST looking dudes, are, in my opinion, as a relatively inexperienced guard player, I just started playing them, like 6 months ago. Not even that. That's actually been 4 months, maybe something. Anyway, the Sentinels have been my bread and butter. Okay, they're super cheap. Run them all with autocannons so they can actually hit. They can actually kill things, and they're super fast. They have great saves, great toughness, etc., etc. They're just an all-around great unit. The problem, though, is that they don't have assault. But this, for 1 CP, that's pretty solid to use on Sentinels. That said, you can use orders on Sentinels because they count as both regiment and squadron units. So giving them an extra little bit of movement through an order is fine. Um, but I think that I would rather devote that order to one of my infantry squads who probably could need it more, and just spend a CP to give them assault, basically. Okay, on my position, at the end of the opponent's fight phase, one of your infantry units, one of your regiment infantry models, or units, whatever, roll a d6 for each enemy in engagement range. On a 2 up, the enemy unit suffers d6 mortal wounds, and then your unit suffers 3d3 mortal wounds. Okay, so this could be both really good and really bad for both you and your opponent. On the flip side, you can roll a 6 and get 6 mortal wounds. On the other side of the coin, you could take 9 mortal wounds. That's enough to wipe an infantry squad. I run my infantry squads with heavy weapons teams, so they're only running 8 dudes, I think. Maybe 9 dudes, I don't remember exactly. But anyway, that's enough to kill an infantry squad, basically. So you can either, yeah, that's like a last stand, oh shit stratagem right there. But I still think that's got its uses. There's definitely been times where I would have liked to have this. Like there was one game I sent a 3-man infantry squad on a bum rush into a Catan shard because I was losing anyway. It was like the end of the game. And they actually managed, because the Catan shard rolls like ass, they actually managed to take a couple of wounds off of him. And I don't think even with this they would have killed him, but it still would have hurt him quite a bit if I had rolled even halfway decent. So that would have been nice to have. Alright, 1 CP aerial extraction. In the end of your opponent's fight phase, 1 Valkyrie unit from your army that's not within engagement range of 1 more enemy units, or 1 Astra Militarum unit from your army that has the deep strike ability and is not within engagement range. The effect, you pluck them off the battlefield, put them in strategic reserves. Okay. Easy peasy. And servo designated for 1 CP. In your shooting phase, just after an infantry unit is shot. Good God. Hiccups are rough today, dude. Whew. Sorry about that. Select 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks that is visible to your unit. Till the end of the phase, the enemy unit cannot have the benefit of cover. So you just take cover away from a unit that shot at you, or from a unit you shot at. So for 1 CP, I'd say that's pretty valid because then you can hit them with like autocans and things like that, and actually have the potential to, fuck their saves up a little bit with the AP. Okay, yeah. All in all, I think I give Bridgehead Strike a fucking A plus, man. I'm very excited to try this out. Really going through it now. This looks fantastic. I don't have a lot of Tempestus units. Best believe I will be getting them. All right, let's go on here. Orcs. Tactical Brigade. Read this whole thing in a Cockney accent. Or an orc accent. Maybe not, that's kind of a book. Okay. Listen. Once per battle round in your command phase, or after being set up on the battlefield in your movement phase, each boss, Snickrot, mech, and war boss model in your army can use tactics abilities to do so. Is this just orc orders? To do so, select 1 or 2 tactics abilities below. 1 or 2? And select 1 friendly orcs unit within 6 inches of that model to issue them to. Yeah, this is just guard orders for orcs. If you selected 2 tactics, that model must take a leadership test. If failed, the selected unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Ugh. Until the start of your next command phase, the selected unit is affected by the selected tactics. A unit cannot have tactics issued to it this way more than once per battle round. Tactics abilities cannot be issued to battle shocked units, and if a unit affected by a tactic becomes battle shocked, all tactics cease to affect that unit while battle shocked. Okay, that's fair. Um, all right. Your ability to get stuck in. You can reroll charge rolls made for the unit. Valuable for orcs, let me tell you. Get on with it. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in your unit. Also good for orcs. Sneaky stalking. Infantry and mounted models, excluding mega knobs, in this unit have the stealth ability, and each time a range attack targets that unit, those models have the benefit of cover. That's also very good. Shooter drills. Each time an infantry or mounted model of the unit makes a range attack, add 1 to the hit roll. These are all great. Oh man. So I have fought against orcs many a time. I love fighting against orcs. They are a ton of fun. They can keep up with my Templars in melee, and it's usually a really, really good matchup. Here's the thing. Orcs suck at shooting, okay, for the most part. So getting them to add 1 to their ranged attacks is pretty good. Because they kind of like guard in the sense of like they hit on fucking 5-ups, but they throw out a fuckload of attacks. So they'll throw out like 20 shots and maybe 2 actually wound. But adding 1 to the hit roll, that can be very valuable because then they can charge in and either do you get on with it or get stuck in because they could fail their charge rolls too. But I think the wog gives them a bonus to charge. It's been a while, I don't really remember. But either way, you can stack all of these and come out on top. All right. Let's look at the enhancements. For 15 points, we got Squad Leader. War boss model only. During the declare battle formation, Stuff the Bear can be attached to a commandos unit. While leading a commandos unit, as the commandos with infiltrator and stealth. Okay, cool. I think they already have infiltrators, but I could be wrong on that. Like I said, it's been a while since I've gone up against orcs. Mech captain for 35. Basically any of the mech units. During the declare battle formation, the bear can be attached to a flash gets unit. Each time a model in that bear's unit makes a ranged attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Ooh. Flash gets. Okay. Flash gets are fucking scary. I plopped down a squad of Terminators in front of Flash gets. I think they just fired Overwatch, and he just rolled really well. But they wiped my Terminator unit in just one go. It was nuts. So yeah, they put the fear of God in me that day. Mork's Cunning for 15 points. After both players have deployed their armies, select up 3 orcs units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set them up as strategic reserves. Fucking copy and paste this shit, man. For real. How many times have we seen this exact same fucking thing, either in stratagem enhancement form or both? Good lord. Gob Boomer for 10 points. Warboss or mech model only. Each time the bearer issues tactics, it can do so to a friendly orc's infantry or mounted unit within 18 inches instead of 6. That could be good if they're like moving up because of the wog and stuff too, because they can get away from their leaders pretty quick that way. All right. Oh, how come they got a picture on their How come they got a picture on their page and nobody else did? Did we miss this? Has everybody had a picture? I want a picture. What the hell? That's ours for 1 CP. Command phase. 1 orc unit from your army that's within engagement range. Till the start of your next command phase, add 1 to their OC. Solid. Fight proper. In the fight phase, 1 orc's infantry or mounted unit from your army that's not been selected to fight this phase. Effects. Select sustained or lethal. Hey, there's a Custodes one. I did this yesterday. There's a Custodes one. That fucking does the same thing, except it's on ranged weapons. But basically, you get to give them sustained or lethal on their fucking attacks till the end of the phase. Tactical retreat. In your movement phase, just after an orc unit from your army falls back. The effect until the end of the turn is eligible to shoot and declare a charge. For 1 CP, that's solid. Alright. We got 2 red ones. Dead Sneaky. End of your opponent's fight phase, 1 commando or storm boys unit from your army that's not within engagement range of 1 random units. Remove them, put them in strategic reserves. Okay. Again, something we've seen a million fucking times at this point. On to the next. For 1 CP, your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy unit falls back. Target 1 orcs unit from your army that was in engagement range. And they can make up a normal move of 6 inches. So you can just fucking keep them in engagement range, basically. Just keep pushing up on them. Again, I would love Templars to have something like this. Oh yeah, so we're gonna get to that after this. Okay, we will. Crunch and Descent in charge phase just after a Storm Boys, ooh, specifically Storm Boys unit from your army ends at charge move. You roll a d6 and a 4 up. The enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. For 1 CP, okay, that's fine. This is a Storm Boy, by the way, in case you didn't know. They have little rockets on their backs. I don't think I've ever seen one actually do anything on the field because I've always killed them, but, you know, valiant efforts are made regardless by Orcs players. Okay, so Orcs are eating a feast. This is a fantastic detachment, plays very well to their strengths, and doesn't just give a new style of play. I mean, this enhances their style of play while also adding a style of play. That's fantastic. S tier. Okay, so real quick, we're gonna go back up here. All right, we have more of these to fuck me, dude. Okay, there's so many of these. I don't know if I want to go through all these. Okay, so Black Templars. All right, and don't give up. Peace. Yeah. All right, bro. Have a good one. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you do. Have a good one, my man. So real quick, what I want to fucking talk about. Wrathful Procession. Okay. So a lot of Templar players coping and seething about this, and we're going to get to the bottom of why, or if they're full of crap. So Zealous Litanies. At the start of the battle round, you select one of the litanies listed below. If you do until the start of the battle round, that litany is active and its effects apply to all Adeptus Astartes infantry units and mounted units. You have Course of Relentless Hate. Add 2 inch to the move characteristic, and add 1 to advance rolls. Right? A Perfervid Wrath. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit. And Chant of Deathless Devotion. Models in the unit have 5 up invuln against ranged attacks. Not half bad. Alright. So all of these are pretty solid. With the exception of this one. Alright, it sounds... Oh my god, I'm just too tired to fucking do the stream, Jesus. That I am not sure is worth it. I guess well, it's very situational. Okay, look. More move and 1 to advance are great. We always want more movement. We always want to get where we need to go faster. And add 1 to advance rolls. I feel like I read the... When I skimmed this the other day, I swear to God I saw something that said I had 1 to, like, add 2 to charge or something. Maybe that's in stratagems. Anyway, the Wrath one here, add 1 to strength. Strength 5 chain swords would be pretty tight, to be honest with you. But this one right here, at least for me, okay, a lot of the people that I play against have very mixed armies. They're very good balance between ranged and melee attacks. Yeah, between ranged and melee. I don't think I would make a lot of use of this. I would say you use the Course of Relentless Hate for your your first turn, you know, to get up on the point and all that, and then use your Right of Preferred Wrath on your second turn to start whacking people. This one, unless I'm playing against Tau, I'm probably not going to take. If I'm being totally honest with you. This might save my vehicles or my units that I really care about when I'm going up against Tau, or like Votan. Probably not, honestly. I played against Votan yesterday, and like they're just worse Space Marines. I lost 2 models that whole game, and one of them was to Votan. Anyway, yeah, unless I'm playing against a super shooty army, I'm probably not gonna take that. Because I'm probably not gonna run enough vehicles or, I guess, more valuable units to make up for it. Because I mean, I don't know. I guess against shooting attacks with higher AP, that can come in handy. But again, I don't know, man. I think this one, it's mid to me. That's just kind of mid. But going on to enhancements, we got Pyrebrand for 25. Miles and Bear's units have the stealth ability. For 25 points in stealth, okay, that's fine. Basically, you take a minus. Anybody who tries to shoot you takes a -1 to hit. That's pretty okay. We got Sacred Rage for 30 fucking points. Once per battle, at the start of the fight phase, the bearer's unit can use this enhancement. If it does, till the end of the fight phase, the boss of the unit has the fight's first ability. Okay. I 30 points for fight first once per battle. It's okay. That's alright. That can come in clutch. Tyramon's Sensor for 15. At the start of the fight phase, each enemy unit within engagement range of the bearer's unit must take a battle shock test. When doing so, subtract 1 from the result. Solid. Okay, because then you can prevent your enemies that are within engagement range from rerolling saves and things like that. So, for 15 points, forcing battle shock at the start of every fucking fight phase, you can really get in there and battle shock multiple units at once if you're smart about it, and if it's tactically sound to do so. Either way, that's solid. That can come in clutch. That can help you a lot. And the Benediction of Furies for 10 points for chaplains only, giving them dev wounds. Okay, 10 points for dev wounds on my chaplain. For like Garmaldus, probably can't. Well, you normally can't put enhancements on named characters, so even then though, the regular chaplain's fine. 10 points for dev wounds on a chaplain. He's cheap enough in points. It's fine. I'm good with that. Alright, skins and stratagems. Fueled by Faith for 1 CP. Any phase, just after a mortal wound is allocated to an Astartes unit from your army. Effect: until the end of the phase, models unit have a feel no pain 5 up against mortals. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, when we were talking about the demon stuff, there's not a lot that does feel no. There's not a lot that does mortals if you think about it. It just doesn't really happen that often. So for 5 up, feel no pain for 1 CP, I think that's fine. Armor of Contempt, we all know what that does. Worsen AP by 1. Everybody fucking has that. Castigate the Demagogues. In the fight phase, one unit from your army has not been selected yet to fight. Till the end of the phase, melee weapons have precision for 1 CP. Okay. See, I go up against Necrons that run fucking Chronomancers a lot. For those who don't know, Chronomancers and Necrons make you take a -1 to all your hits. Doesn't matter if it's melee range, whatever. Excuse me. So being able to take them out quickly is of the utmost importance to me. I try to make it a point to beeline to any necromancer that I see. Makes my job a lot easier, believe me. And giving like a whole Crusader squad precision, like, okay, yeah, that's fine. For 1 CP, I'm good with that. Voice of Devotion. In your command phase, 1 infantry or Astartes mounted unit. Select the course of Relentless Hate, blah blah blah. Until the end of the battle round, that litany is active for your unit instead of any other litany that is active. So for 1 CP, you can swap your litanies on 1 unit. Okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. Situational, but not too bad. Relentless Momentum in your fight phase, or in the fight phase. 1 Astartes unit from your army that has not been selected to fight yet and is within engagement range of one or more enemy units. Till the end of the phase, when determining which models or units are eligible to fight, any models in that are within 3 inches of 1 or more enemy models are eligible to fight. When resolving those attacks, such models can target one of those enemy units that's within 3 inches of them and within engagement range of the unit. So that gives you 3-inch fight radius, okay? Valuable. For 1 CP, that is fantastic. That could let a big mob like a Crusader squad really lay down some fucking hate. So that's A+. I love that. And last, we got Brute Fervor. In the fight phase, 1 Astartes unit from your army that has not been selected to fight. Till the end of the phase, each time a model unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. You can ignore any modifiers to the following: that attack's weapon skill characteristic, the hit roll, the wound roll. You basically ignore modifiers, and you get to reroll a hit roll of 1. For 1 CP, that'll help me out against Chronomancers a whole lot. So I'm a big fan of that. So why are Black Templar players coping and seething about this detachment? Oh, hey, they don't get a picture like the Orcs did, but whatever. I think it's because while it is okay and it adds a new style of play. Um, I shouldn't. I mean, yeah, it's a new style of play. You can. I think this is a detachment you could run with just about any list, but it's not nearly as strong as Righteous Crusaders, which is the default Templar detachment. That said, I don't think this is worth fucking seething over because honestly, like it's not bad by any means. It's not fucking S tier like the Orc thing, but it does add a little bit of variety, and I think that at least to me is what I expect from a Grotmas detachment. I don't expect these to be like Codex level shit. It would be nice if this is going to be in the Codex. Maybe this is, and I guess you could say this for any of the Grotmas detachments. This is a good opportunity to playtest, which, in my opinion, GW doesn't do nearly enough. Um, so I think that this is fine for that purpose. I think some of the enhancements are a little much. 25 points for Pyrebrand is, yeah, that's all right, I guess. But 30 points for Fight First just seems a bit much. I think that 25 or 20 would probably be better. And the reason I say that is because it's once per battle at the start of the fight phase. So, like, I just don't think 30 points is worth it. Your points are better spent elsewhere. Because, I mean, you can get Pyrebrand and Benediction of Fury for 5 more, and you're going to get more bang for your buck. Um, I don't think it's worth the fucking copious amounts of coping I'm seeing on Reddit about it. I think it's fine. I will definitely be playing it in my next Templar game, and I will absolutely report back on it. But in the meantime, on the surface level, I think this is B tier. It's fine. It's not anything that's going to blow your socks off by any means, but it's fine. But let's what do we want to look at next here? We got so many to go. Okay. I thought I could really get through all these, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to. This is going to be a multi-part series for sure. We might do a little bit of gooning later though in the next one when we rank the primary GFs. I was supposed to do that last night. Kind of ran out on time, but and I might do that again tonight. But that's okay. We're learning. I'm not really a streamer. I don't want to be a streamer, so this is just a learning experience, and it's a chance for me to like hang out with you guys, um, and just really, kind of just give somebody or give people on Christmas Eve, um, something to distract them with too. Because I know this can be a really hard time of year for a lot of people, and especially we as nerds, we're not that social a lot of the time. Um, so having that distraction during the holidays, I think, can really benefit people. And if that's you, I hope that you stick around. I do, and I hope that I hope that I just wish you the coziest vibes I can. But that said, let's keep hanging out and let's move on. We are at Eldari, Armored Warhost. Womp 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 womp. I fucking hate Eldari. Okay. I will not, and I haven't fought Eldari since they got super nerfed several months ago. But I refuse to play against Eldari because I played against them with my Thousand Suns. It's about a 3,000 point game, and I got tabled by about halfway through turn 3. Um, because of their dumbass fate dice and all their other shenanigans. Um, and I guess the die, the winds of fate had a dealing in that, I'm sure, with the dice rolls, but it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. I just won't play against Eldari. And for a while there, nobody in the local scene would play against Eldari either. The guy that I was playing against, he actually ended up getting um, another army because nobody would play against his Eldari because they were so busted. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a minute, so I don't know if that's still the case with the consistent nerfs that Eldari has been getting. Thank God. But let's see how gross this detachment's going to be. Alright, skilled crews. So this seems like an armored warhost. Sounds like it's vehicle based. Now, Eldari vehicles do not fuck around. So let's see here. Ranged weapons equipped by Eldari vehicle models have the assault ability and can reroll advanced rolls made for Eldari vehicle fly units from your army. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is pretty gross. That's a lot cooler than the rest of shit we've had, though, in terms of I don't have to read a fucking book to get the point across. Going over to enhancements, guiding presence for 25 points, Eldari Psyker model only. At the start of your shooting phase, select one friendly Eldari vehicle model within 9 inches of the bearer. Until the end of the phase, each time that model makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Pretty good. Eldari's already really good at shooting. Cool, they're going to be even better. Harmonization Matrix for 30. In your command phase, if the bearer, or any transport is embarked within, is within range of an objective mark, you control roll a d6 on a 3-up, you gain a CP. Okay. Spirit Stone of Raelith for 20. While the bearer is within 3 inches of one or more friendly Eldari vehicle units, that bearer has a lone operative ability. Basically, you can't target that unit unless you're within 12 inches of them. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Eldari vehicle model within 3 inches of the bearer and give them D3 lost wounds. Okay, so you can basically turn that Psyker into a Space Marine, Tech Marine. Those Tech Marines do the same thing. And then Guileful Strategist for 15. Eldari only if your army includes the bearer after... Why wouldn't it? After both players have deployed their armies, select up to 3 Eldari vehicle units from your army and redeploy them. Okay, this is the same fucking enhancement we've seen about 1,000,000,000 times. This is starting to get really old. Alright, moving on to stratagems. We'll go back up and talk about this nonsense in a minute. Layered wards for 1 CP. Any phase, just add for a mortal wound is allocated to a vehicle unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, it gives them a 5-up field no pain. Okay, we just saw that with the Templar stratagem. Same fucking thing. Swift deployment in your movement phase, one of your transports. Until the end of the phase, units can disembark from your transport after it has advanced. Units that do so count as having made a normal move and cannot declare a charge, but can otherwise act normally. Very powerful stratagem. I would have loved to see that on Templars. Would have really encouraged a more like mechanized infantry approach with impulsors and whatnot. Especially impulsors. God knows they need some love. Vectored engines for a CP in your movement phase, just after an Eldari vehicle unit from your army that can fly falls back. Oh my god, it's hiccup stream today, folks. This is rough. Lord almighty. Alright, until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back. Okay, we've seen that before, not that big of a deal, but for Eldar, as I said, their shooting is fucking gross. So having them able to fall back and shoot, no bueno. I don't like that. Anti-grav repulsion for a CP in your opponent's charge phase, just after an enemy has declared a charge. One Eldari vehicle from your unit, one Eldari vehicle unit from your army that can fly, and that was selected as the target of the charge. And until the end of the phase, subtract 2 from charge roll range for the enemy unit. Okay, so that boosts their survival by potentially a lot. Especially if you're going up against like Custodes, World Eaters, Orcs, or another melee army. That can hurt. Soul Sight for a CP in your shooting phase. One vehicle unit from your army that's not been selected to shoot yet. Till the end of the phase, each time your unit is selected to shoot, you can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, and 1 damage roll. So it gives them the same ability. It gives them the Space Marine Predator tank ability, basically. And then Cloud Strike. At the reinforcement step of your movement phase, 1 vehicle unit from your army that has fly and is in strategic reserves. Till the end of the phase, your unit has the Deep Strike ability. When your unit is set up on the battlefield using Deep Strike, it can be set up anywhere that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. But if it does, until the end of the turn, it is not eligible to declare a charge. In addition, if a unit is a transport, each unit that disembarks from it this turn must be set up more than 6 inches horizontally from all enemy units until the end of the turn, not eligible to declare a charge. Wow, that was a lot. Okay, so this is really good in terms of a detachment. Here's why. Cloud Strike, letting you basically deep strike and just shit dudes out um, anywhere within 6 inches of an enemy model. Well, within any enemy models, okay? Eldar, if you get a couple of them on a point, like if you get Wraithguard on a point and just shit them out there, like in turn 2, that's just gonna fucking. They're just gonna rip shit up. Wraithguard are some of the best shooters I've seen on the board, um, which is great. Soulsight gives you Predator rerolls. This is a great counter against melee armies. Vectored engines let them shoot and fall back. Okay, Eldar, despite being extremely good at shooting, are very, very squishy. So if you actually manage to get up in their face, similar to Tau, they're going to fall apart. So the ability for them to do this really plays into their strengths quite well. And then on the other side of things, all their enhancements are great too. You can repair vehicles. We're not going to pay attention to this because it's in every fucking detachment thus far. You gain free CP. And you can add 1 to hit rolls within 9 inches. That doesn't sound like a lot, but if you measure that out, dude, 9 inches, that's okay. And all their vehicles get assault. Eldari tanks are mean. I don't exactly know what they're fucking called. You can probably look them up real quick. I don't actually know what these are. I'll probably know it when I see it. Can't be that hard to find. Oh, real quick while I'm over here. Wraithguard. Like I said, these guys are some of the best shooters I've seen in terms of damage output, okay? They hit on 4-ups. Toughness 7. They save on 2-ups. They only get 1 shot, but strength 14? The D6 one's strength 10? It's not great, guys. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's not great. Okay? And it can shoot after it gets targeted by somebody. They're awful. They're super awful. Okay, let's see if we can find a tank. What here sounds like a tank? I think fire dragons are their tanks, if I remember right. Yeah, that looks like a tank. No, that's not a tank. There's no way that's a tank. It's gonna make me Google it, isn't it? So you can just get a webway gate? Oh, okay. Cool. Are they fire prisms? Is that what they are? That's the fire prisms. That's it. Okay. So, give this fucking thing assault on the prism cannon and the shuriken cannons, or shuriken cannons. That's great. And you get to reroll a hit roll and a wound roll with it. Long story short, this detachment plays very, 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 very well into Eldari's strengths, and I expect their win rate to go way high. Unlike the Templar detachment, which only moderately plays to strengths. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I want to get to the ones that I play and go over those. And because I think those are the ones that I can give the most insight on. So, for example, I have beef with this detachment for a multitude of reasons. So let's go over this first. Certain areas of the battlefield in the Army's flow of magic, as follows. Deployment zone is always in your flow of magic. At the start of any phase, if you control at least half the objective markers in No Man's Land, till the end of that phase, No Man's Land is within your flow of magic. At the start of any phase, if you control at least half the objective markers within your opponent's deployment zone, then their deployment zone is in your flow of magic. If you're a Necrons or Chaos Demons player, you might recognize this. This is Shadow of Chaos and or Canoptek Court, flavored for fucking wizards. Each time a Thousand Suns model in your army makes a psychic attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If such a model is wholly within your army's flow of magic each time, then make a psychic attack, add 1 to the wound roll instead. So, here's the problem. Okay? And I said this earlier with the Zinch Demon detachment. This really puts into perspective how little psychic stuff is in 40k 10th edition right now. And how limited the psychic stuff in 10th edition is. Thousand Suns, despite being a very, they're fucking wizards, right? Despite that, don't have a ton of spellcasting ability. For example, your battle line units in your rubrics squads are led by aspiring sorcerers. They're the only ones that get psychic attacks. I mean, obviously, right? And then on top of that, only a few of the characters actually have psychic attacks, or total psychic attacks. It's very, I don't want to say situational, but it's not enough. And so this detachment really highlighted, how little there was for it. So let's move on to the enhancements. Arcane Might for 20 points. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of psychic weapons models in a unit. If they're within the flow of magic, add 2. Not bad for 20 points. Psychic attacks do hit pretty hard. Empowered Manifestation. While the bearer's unit is wholly within your army's flow of magic, add 6 inches to the range of psychic abilities the bearer has, including rituals. And each time model in the bearer's unit makes a hazardous test for the psychic weapon, you can reroll the result. Not too bad. 07, Francois Marion? I remember you, Francois. I don't know what 07 means, but hey, good to see you again. Empiric Onslaught, model only. While the bearer's unit is wholly within the flow of magic, add 3 to the attack characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by the Psyker. And Noctilith Mantle for 15. While the bearer's unit is on the battlefield, it is wholly within your army's own flow of magic, regardless of where it is. They cannot be selected to use rituals. Okay, 15 points, I think that's fine. And these are all great enhancements, I will say that. I have no problem with these enhancements whatsoever. I think they're fantastic. That said, I don't think Thousand Suns are great for this detachment. And the reason why is because this very much rewards the play style of win and then win harder. Because it focuses entirely on battlefield control to get your buffs, as opposed to the Cabal of Sorcerers detachment that we already had, that had universal utility in terms of how you can cast your rituals. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the army rule. The detachment rule is letting you add lethal, sustained, or dev wounds to all psychic attacks at the start of one of your turns. That has infinitely more utility than this ever will. So let's get into the stratagem side of things. Warding Hex for 1 CP in your command in a command phase. 1,000 Sun Psyker unit from your army that's within range of an objective marker you control. If that objective marker is wholly within your army's flow of magic. Keep in mind this caveat right here. Effect, that objective marker remains under your control. You get stickies provided that this is within, that objective is within your flow of magic. Now you could stack this with the Noctilith Mantle enhancement and maybe get a little bit of utility out of that, because this just makes that unit within a flow of magic regardless of where it's at. So if you can manage to put this together with Warding Hex, not a bad combo, I will say. Wrath of the Doomed in the fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Till the end of the phase, each time a model unit is destroyed, if that model has not fought this phase, roll a d6. Excuse me. Adding one to the result of your unit is wholly within your army's flow of magic. On a 4-up, don't remove it from play. That destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks and then remove from play. It gives you fight back. This right here would be great in a Black Templar's detachment, which I went over a minute ago. Not in a Thousand Suns detachment. Sorry, but my Rubric Marines are not getting any kind of buffs from the psychic stuff. They're using their dusty fists, okay? If I had more sorcerers in a unit per unit as opposed to just one sorcerer per squad, this would make a lot more sense to me. Because I'm getting better damage output from my psychic attacks in melee. With just regular attacks, I don't really think this is going to do much. Strands of Time. In your movement phase, just after a Thousand Suns unit has fallen back. Till the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in which they fell back if your unit is within the flow of magic when it's targeted with this stratagem. At the end of the turn, then, until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot or declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. If your unit is wholly within your army's flow of magic when it's targeted with a stratagem, then until the end of the turn, it's eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. What? Okay, so it just said the same thing twice, basically. So you can shoot in a turn in which you fall back. Not too bad. Everybody wants that. Kaleidoscopic Tempest. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Until the end of the phase, your unit has the stealth ability. And, if they're within the flow of magic, each time attack targets your unit, it has the benefit of cover. That's some utility, but again, you have to have some major board control to get the most out of these stratagems. It's win, but win harder. So I guess like you could say it rewards aggressive play, which I think is fine. I'd play Thousand Suns pretty aggressively anyway. Maybe I'm the one that's coping right now because maybe this isn't that bad once I get into it. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Abyss at 07. I don't know what that means. What am I missing? I'm probably. I feel like that's something bad. Oh lord, I feel like that's something bad. Scattering Warp Flame, 1 CP in your shooting phase. One of your Psyker units that has not been selected to shoot and is wholly within your flow of magic. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons have ignore cover. After your unit has shot this phase, select one enemy units hit by one or more of those attacks, and that unit can't have the benefit of cover. It's a salute. Oh! I see it now. The O is the little head and the 7 is the salute. Yeah, okay. Alright. Womp womp. Okay, Through the Veil. Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. Through the Veil for 1 CP. Reinforcement step in your movement phase. 1 Rubric Marine or Scarab Occult Terminator unit from your army. If it has the Deep Strike ability, I don't know why Rubrics would have Deep Strike. Set it up on the battlefield. When your unit is set up on the battlefield during... Oh my god, okay, hold on. If it is a Rubric Marines unit till the end of the phase, it has the Deep Strike ability. Okay, I need to read. I'm not reading. When your unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, if it's a Scarab Occult Terminator unit, it can be set up wholly within 6 inches from all enemy models that is anywhere within your flow of magic. It's not eligible to declare a charge if it comes in that way either, which I think is fine with anything that does that. Some chatter above me named Francois did the same, so did not want to leave the appreciate it. Yes, he did. And now I know. I've been educated. Speaking of educated, I'm educating y'all on why this isn't great. So I am going to try it. I will say that. Next time I play Thousand Suns, I will try this. Because it might be better, like, it might look bad on paper and be good in practice. I don't know. But I don't have any issues with these enhancements. I think they're very appropriately priced in points for what they do. The problem though is that I think that this relies on playing a little too aggressively in a way that I don't know if Thousand Suns are good for or not. Because while this rewards psychic stuff very nicely, there's not a ton of psychic attacks in 10th edition. Even among Thousand Suns, it's just not that common. So I just don't know. I don't on paper I don't really like the look of this. I think it's C tier at best. But again, maybe in practice it's not. Maybe within practice it's actually S tier. I don't know. But I will definitely be trying it, and I will report back. Same with the Templars one and the fucking Imperial Guard. All right, so what's on the next? What's next on the list? I'm gonna go to the Custodes. So I won a game with Custodes last night. It was only my third game with Custodes, and I was up against Votann and World Leaders. I learned a couple of things. One, Votann were Space Marines. It was my first time playing against Votann. Two, World Leaders, I'm sorry, Custodes are a hard fucking counter to World Eaters. With your invuln saves and just your general high strength attacks, like Guardian Spears are strength 7. They have AP 2, I have a 2, I believe. AP 1 or 2. And then the Castellan axes all have AP 2 and do 3 damage a pop. And Guardian Spears 2 damage a pop. Either way, if you land those, you're killing a model most of the time. So they just chewed through World Eater Marines last night. So let's look at this though, because this benefits the Custodes models and makes me want to get more jet bikes, which I absolutely will. So Auric Armor, while a Adeptus Custodes vehicle from your army is at starting strength, unless they are an aircraft or battle shocked, add 2 to their OC, which is solid. Custodes already have decent OC if you can get them all up on a point at one time. And that can be a struggle because only having a handful of units, models on the board, compared to your opponent's 50 models, your save rolls need to be on par. Otherwise, you're going to lose OC very quickly because you're going to lose models very quickly in a unit. And losing just one model in a Custodes unit, I have learned, it hurts. It does. It hurts your effectiveness by a lot. But moving on. While a Custodes vehicle unit from your army is below starting strength, each time a model of the unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. Very handy, especially on jet bikes, because they only get 1 attack on their big guns. And while a Custodes vehicle unit from your army is below half strength, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll and wound roll of 1. I don't think I need to explain very much why this is great. We love our hit rolls. We love our rerolls here. And being able to do that, and if you're rolling well, you're gonna just dominate the board with your extra 2 OC. If you're getting hit a little bit, this stuff gives you a chance to really bounce back. And like I said, losing a model in Custodes really fucking hurts. So the ability to throw some of that hate back, at least having more of a chance to, I'll take it. Oh, and add 2 inches to Custodes Walker units and add 1 to advance and charge rolls. That makes Dreadnoughts much more viable. And you can make 2 of them characters. And they can be given enhancements. So let's go over to the enhancements here. Adamantine Talisman for 25. Improve the attack, strength, and damage characteristic of melee weapons by 1. That's fantastic. Good lord. Augury Uplink for 25. Bearer has the Feel No Pain 5 up. Solid. We love that. I think it was a stratagem? Is that a stratagem? I think it was a stratagem. Yeah, it was a stratagem I used against World Eaters that gave me a 4-up Feel No Pain. And I think that saved my ass against World Eaters. I'll be real. So for 25 points, Feel No Pain, 5-up, I think that's totally fine. Honored Fallen Aura for 15. While a friendly, you can only equip this to Custodes vehicles, so walkers. While a friendly Adeptus Custodes infantry or Adeptus Custodes mounted units within 6 inches of the bearer, each time a model in the unit makes an attack, re-roll a hit roll of 1. So you could stack this with this from a Dreadnought on a point with some jet bikes and seriously tear shit up. Veteran of the Cataphractoid for 10 points. Basically, infantry or mounted model only. In your movement phase, select one Adeptus Custodes vehicle or mounted unit within 6 inches of the bearer. Until the start of your next command phase, that unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back. We love that. Let's get into the stratagems. You'll notice no red stratagems, so nothing you can use on your in your opponent's shooting or fight phase or anything like that. In sense of like that is specific to them. So flawless construction for 1 CP in your shooting phase, your opponent's shooting phase, or fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Your target is one Adeptus Custodes vehicle unit. And effect until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets a model in your unit. If the strength is greater than the toughness, subtract 1 from the wound roll. I guess for 1 CP that's okay. Emperor's Vengeance. Fight phase, just after an enemy unit selected its targets. One Adeptus Custodes unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the target unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time model of the unit is destroyed. If that model has not fought this phase, roll a d6 adding 1 to the result. If your unit has a walker keyword, it gives them fight back. Wrathful Advance. So fight back on Custodes? Okay, yeah, I'll take that too. Wrathful Advance. Fight phase just after an Adeptus Custodes unit from your army piles in. Till the end of the phase, each time model unit makes a pile-in move and move d3 plus 3 instead of up to 3 inches. So you can really wrap around a whole squad of units. That would have came in handy in my game. Good lord. Punishment Inescapable. In your shooting phase, one of your Custodes units that has not been selected to shoot yet. Until the end of the phase, ranged models equipped by ranged weapons by models equipped by models in the unit have ignore cover. And until the end of the phase, each time model unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to your ballistic skill or hit roll, which is fantastic against Necron Chronomancers and Death Guard. All right, starting to see why this is great. Relentless Persecution. In your movement phase, just after a Custodes vehicle from your army advances, till the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it advanced. If it's a walker, then you can shoot and declare a charge after you advance instead. So this makes the giant-ass Custodes dreadnoughts that are always out of stock on Forge World totally viable if you can ever get a hold of one. And then we have Unstoppable for 1 CP. One vehicle or mounted unit from your army until the end of the phase. Models in your unit can move horizontally through models and terrain features. Not sure why that's... Okay, so okay. I think it's weird that it says move horizontally. Every other detachment we've seen that has basically the same thing just says you can move through terrain features. Maybe it's just because this also has models and not just terrain features. Kind of weird. Anyway, so this makes jet bikes and walkers and just vehicles in general much more potent. Especially the jet bikes. I can tell you firsthand, those guys fuck shit up. And it makes Custodes dreadnoughts a little more viable, because Custodes dreadnoughts, at least the Venerable dreadnought, which is the only one I've ran so far, isn't great. It's mid. It's okay. But this would definitely help things out with it. So yeah, I would give this an S tier. Honestly, this is another one that in my next coming up games, I'm definitely going to try to do. But with all that said, I think I'm going to call it quits there because quite honestly, I am a lot hungrier than I thought I would be. So if you tuned in, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. I hope Santa brings you all the wonderful model kits that you've asked for so you don't have to spend outrageous amounts of money on plastic. And I am sending you all the coziest vibes I can for the evening. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles, and Merry Christmas.